Hi, welcome back for another edition of Math Made Easy with Professor C. Today we're going to focus on equations, and more importantly, multi-step equations. So right now you should have a foundational skills of one-step equations or maybe even two-step equations. Multi-step equations simply means that there's going to be more than one step that you need to take in order to isolate or to solve the equation. So instead of just guessing with it, we're going to show you today how to simply solve equations. Let's take this equation for an example. If I have 2x plus 8 is equal to 14. Okay? Now, the reason some people may call this a two-step equation is because there are two operations here. There's multiplication and there's addition, which tells you there's two operations. One thing I like to tell students to do as a practice tool is to write things down, get it out of your brain, and put it on paper. So one thing you can do is you can divide your paper into two pieces. I have to balance the equation, and my goal is to get my variable by itself. Now I like to put a box around what I want by itself. As you can see, this equation, I see that 2 is being multiplied and 8 is being added, okay? In order to solve an equation, you must do the inverse operation or the opposite of the operation. So in order to solve, you must do division for the 2 and subtraction for the 8, okay? Now we do know that we have order of operations, okay? But anytime I'm trying to undo something and I'm trying to do the inverse operation, okay? Normally we work with the highest order of parentheses going down towards adding and subtracting. But in this case, when I'm trying to go backwards or to undo it, I want to go in the opposite order. That means I want to start with my adding or subtraction, move to multiplication or division, as I see from left to right, the exponents, and then lastly, parentheses, okay? So if I work in opposite order, I want to do my subtraction. And I want to subtract whatever was being added to my variable. So if I subtract 8, and I want to do that on both sides, my 8 minus 8 should cancel out or be 0. So I can cross that out. 14 minus 8, we know that to be 6. I bring down what I did not use, and now I do the next operation, which is what? Division. So I want to divide by 2 on both sides. When I divide by 2 on both sides, 2 divided by 2 is simply 1, so that's why it cancels out. And I'm left with x is equal to 3. Okay, good. Okay. Now I want you guys to remember inverse operations, and you want to work in reverse order. You want to work in this direction. So adding and subtracting, multiplication and division, and then exponents and parentheses. Okay? Here's another equation. Okay? Let's say, for instance, I have 10 is equal to x divided by 6 minus, let's say, 8. Okay? Again, what do you see? What is bothering my variable? I always like to box my variable. I see that something is being divided with my variable and something is being subtracted from my variable. Okay? The inverse operation tells me that I want to do multiplication and then addition. because these are the inverse operations to what I have already. And I want to work in reverse order. So I want to add 8 on both sides. And again, I can divide my paper into half. So if I add 8 on both sides, 8 minus 8 should cancel out. 10 plus 8 is 18. I bring down what I haven't used. And then my next step is to do the multiplication. So let's do our multiplication. If I multiply 6 on this side, and I'm multiplying 6 on the other side, we can easily see that 6 divided by 6 should cancel out, unless it leaves me with x. And instead of me putting the calculator, let's go ahead and just do this math, okay? If I have 18 times 6, ask yourself, what is 8 times 6? Think for a moment. 8 times 6, okay? You would have 48. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 more, 108. So x will actually be equal to 108. And that's how to solve the problem without trying to guess at the answer, look at the multiple choice answers. You actually know exactly what you're doing. You're solving an equation by isolating the variable and working in the opposite order. Okay? I do want to show you next how to solve equations when the variable is on both sides of the equal sign and it's going more towards a multi-step equation. So let's use this as an example. 2x plus 3 is equal to 8x minus, let's say, 15. Okay? Now, our goal before we can start working with our inverse operations is to see what's going on in this problem. You should recognize that you have like terms on both sides of the equal sign. One of the steps you have to take is to combine your like terms, okay? And again, in order to combine my like terms, I have to do the inverse operation. I want to move either my 2x to the other side of the equal sign or my 8x to the left side of my equal sign. The choice is yours. Today, I'm going to move my 2x to the right side of the equation. I chose that because I know that 2 is smaller than 8 and I can work with a positive number. Okay, let's see how it's done. So, if I subtract 2x on both sides,
the time is rapidly approaching 8:10 a.m. If you could make
and of course we're at the school, so we hear announcements.
Please sir, please ma'am, make sure you sign in. This is a daily expectation, but please make sure today that you're signing in using the checkmate system. Thank you.
All right. Sorry for that interruption. Again, I want to move my 2x to the other side by using my inverse operation. The opposite of a positive is a negative number. So that would cancel. 6 minus 2 is 6x. Sorry, 8 minus 2 is 6x. I bring down everything else I have not used yet. Okay. Now I can go back and start thinking about this as a two-step equation. Again, now I can box the variable that I have, and what's bothering my variable? Something is being multiplied to it, and something is being subtracted from it. Okay? So I want to do the inverse operation. The opposite of multiplication is division. The opposite of subtraction is addition. Okay? So again, add and subtract before multiplying and dividing. So let's go ahead and add 15 on both sides. And again, I like to line my numbers based on place value. 15 minus 15 cancels out. 3 plus 5 is 8. And then 1 in my tens place. I bring down what I haven't used. And now I have to divide by 6 on both sides. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, 6 divided by 6 should cancel out. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So x is equal to 3. Okay. Once again, we went over how to solve a two-step equation first. How do we solve a multi-step equation with variables on both sides of the equation? So again, always remember, I want to get all of my variables together first, and then I want to start moving with my inverse operations. Again, this is Math Made Easy with solving multi-step equations. I'm Professor C. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe and like this video. Have a great day.